You've been lied to. Fed weakness like a drug. Conditioned to accept comfort like a slave shackled to his own chains. And you know what's worse? You let it happen. You sit there drowning in excuses, wrapped in self-pity, whispering the same pathetic lies. I'll start tomorrow. I just need motivation. It's not my fault. Shut up. Tomorrow is a graveyard where cowards bury their dreams. Motivation is a fleeting ghost. And fault, it doesn't matter. Because while you point fingers, the world sharpens its knives. This is war, and in war the weak are nothing but casualties. You think you have time? Look at yourself. Really look. How many years have you wasted? How many times have you sworn you'd change, only to fall right back into the same cycle? Your mind is rotting in comfort. Your soul is suffocating in mediocrity. And while you hesitate, monsters are being born. Men who don't flinch at suffering. Men who don't wait for permission. Men who will devour you without a second thought. And here you are, waiting, hoping, wishing. Let me tell you something, winners don't hope. They hunt. The most evil, the most ruthless, the most powerful men in history. They had something you don't. An unshakable will. A mind that did not submit. A fire that could not be extinguished. You think intelligence will save you? No. You think talent will carry you? No. Only madness will. A madness so relentless, so terrifying, that even the cruelest men pause in your presence, not out of respect, but out of fear. You must become a force of nature. Not a man, not a woman, not a human being with fragile emotions and delicate dreams, but a storm, a wildfire, a beast that does not hesitate. Hesitation is a death sentence. The moment you pause, you give your enemies an opening. The moment you doubt, the world senses weakness. And weakness, it gets slaughtered. You think life will wait for you to be ready? It won't. You think the world will be fair? It isn't. You think you can sit in silence and be left alone? They are coming for you. The competition, the critics, the demons in your own mind whispering, stay where it's safe. And what will you do, cower? Complain? Or rise like a force so terrifying that even your own past trembles before you? You must embrace the madness. Because normal men live normal lives, and normal lives end in regret. But the mad ones, the ones who refuse to kneel, they walk into the storm and become it. Your time for softness is over. Your war begins now. You've been fed a lie so sweet, so comforting, that you swallowed it whole without question, without resistance. You let it seep into your mind, rot your discipline, and turn you into a domesticated animal. And the worst part, you actually believe it. They told you work hard and success will come. Be patient and life will reward you. Good things happen to good people. Bullshit. Hard work means nothing if it's misdirected. Patience is useless if you're waiting in the wrong place. And good people, they get crushed. The world doesn't care about your effort. It doesn't care about your struggles. It doesn't care about your sob story. Only results matter. And if you don't have them, you're nothing. They'll be alive enough you tell yourself, I'm trying my best. I've done enough. I deserve a break. Lies are never enough. The moment you think you've done enough is the moment you stop growing. It's the moment the hunger dies, the fire fades, and you start sliding back into the pit of mediocrity, where the rest of the world rots away. There is no finish line. There is no done. There is only more. You think champions stop when they win one fight? You think killers put their weapons down after one victory? No. They sharpen the blade. They prepare for the next war. Because they know complacency is the real enemy. The second you relax, someone hungrier, angrier, and more ruthless than you is coming to take everything you have. So tell me, are you really doing enough? Or are you just lying to yourself to feel better about your weakness? The I have time, I have time. I'll start tomorrow. One day things will change. Wake UP. Time is your enemy. Every second you waste is a second you will never get back. Every minute you hesitate is a minute closer to your grave. And when that final moment comes, when you're gasping for your last breath, will you be satisfied with how you lived? Or will you choke on regret, knowing you had the chance, but you were too weak to take it? They told you life is long. It's not. They told you success will come eventually. It won't. They told you things will get better. Not if you don't make them. There is no one day. There is no someday. There is now how. And every moment you waste makes you weaker. The alley of fairness, you sit there, whining about how unfair life is. Complaining about your circumstances. Crying that others have it easier. Let me tell you something, nobody cares. Fairness is a fairy tale sold to the weak. The real world, it's ruthless, it's cutthroat. And it will chew you up and spit you out if you're not ready. The strong take, the weak beg. That's the reality. If you don't like where you are, don't blame the system. Break it. If the world is against you, don't cry about it. Crush it. If life refuses to hand you what you want, don't wait. Rip it from its hands. You were not born to be a pawn in someone else's game. You were born to be the force that reshapes the board. The eye of balance, you need to take it easy. You need a work-life balance. You need to enjoy life. Another lie. Another soft excuse wrapped in feel-good nonsense to keep you weak, to keep you tame. Balance. Balance is for people who accept average. Balance is for people who don't have the fire to dominate. Tell me, does a lion worry about balance? Does a warrior pause in the middle of battle for self-care? Does a king beg for comfort when there is a throne to take? No, obsession beats balance. Every time. The legends you admire, they were obsessed. The monsters who shaped history, they were relentless. The men and women who refused to bow, they sacrificed everything because they understood one thing. Greatness demands blood, sweat, pain, sacrifice, and a mind so unbreakable that even in the face of hell, it does not flinch. So tell me, do you want balance? Or do you want to bend reality to your will? The truth you've been avoiding, you want change? Then stop lying to yourself. You want power? Then kill your excuses. You want to be feared, respected, unstoppable? Then you must burn every comfort, every delusion, every pathetic belief that has kept you shackled. The world belongs to those ruthless enough to take it. And right now you have two choices. Keep believing the lies, stay soft and die forgotten. Rip the blindfold off. Embrace the truth. And become a force so terrifying that even the most evil men fall silent in your presence. No more lies, no more weakness, no more waiting. Decide. There is no sugarcoating it. You are weak. You are soft. You are deluding yourself into thinking that your dreams will somehow materialize without you having to go to war for them. But here's the truth, you are nothing more than a walking excuse. A hollow shell of potential waiting to be buried in the dirt. This world does not give a damn about your intentions. It does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your potential. What it cares about is one thing. What are you going to do about it? You sit there hoping that things will get better. But I'll tell you something right now, they won't. The universe doesn't owe you anything. It's not going to throw you a bone. Because you tried your best or because you feel entitled to success. It's coming for you, and it doesn't care if you're ready. The reality is harsh. The reality is brutal. But it's the only reality that matters. You look at people who are successful, who are crushing life, and you wonder, what do they have that I don't? It's not luck. It's not magic. It's not talent. It's insane hunger. They are willing to sacrifice what you are not. They are willing to go through pain that you are too scared to face. They are willing to push through walls while you sit there waiting for someone to hand you the key to success. You want success? then stop crying about your circumstance and understand this: nobody's coming to save you. The truth about pain: you think you know pain. You think you've felt what it's like to suffer, to struggle. You haven't. Not like this. True pain doesn't come from breaking a sweat in the gym or pulling an all-nighter at work. True pain is waking up every morning, knowing you have failed yourself. True pain is looking in the mirror and seeing someone who has wasted their potential, who has buried their dreams, who has never been willing to push through that final layer of discomfort to find what's on the other side. Pain is not something you run from. It is something you embrace. If you're not willing to embrace the grind, to drown in your own blood, sweat, and tears, then don't even bother trying. The battlefield isn't for the weak, the soft, the people who need motivation every damn day. The battlefield is for the relentless, the pain-hardened, the ones who stare death in the face and laugh. So don't talk to me about how tough your life is. Don't tell me about how hard you've worked. Show me your scars. The truth about comfort: you think comfort is your right. You think that because you've earned a break, you deserve a moment of peace. Let me break it to you: comfort is the enemy. Comfort is what kills men from the inside. You've been taught that taking it easy, slowing down, and relaxing are rewards. But that's the lie. The reward is not comfort. The reward is the fight. The reward is the struggle. The reward is the blood on your hands and the fire in your soul as you climb higher than everyone else. You want to know why you're stuck? Because you crave comfort. You crave the easy path, the soft pillow, the mind-numbing distractions that keep you from facing the truth. But listen closely: comfort is where dreams go to die. Comfort is the cage that keeps you from soaring. Comfort is the invisible hand that slaps you down the second you start to rise. If you don't burn the need for comfort, if you don't smash the need for ease into oblivion, you will never break free from the chains that bind you. The truth about your limits: stop telling me about your limits. You don't have limits. There are no limits in the human spirit. No boundaries to what you can achieve once you decide to push. Every time you tell yourself that you can't go further, you're lying. You've convinced yourself that your body, your mind, your soul have some magical breaking point. But here's the reality: you can go further. You can push harder. The pain, it's not your limit. The exhaustion, it's not your limit. The doubt, it's not your limit. You are only limited by one thing: your refusal to push past the discomfort. You are limited by your own unwillingness to do what others are too soft to do. You are not weak. You're just too afraid to find your true strength. There are people out there right now who are crushing it. They're not smarter than you. They don't have more time than you. They don't have some magical talent that you don't have. What they have is one thing you don't: too ill to endure, to sacrifice, to suffer without giving in. If you don't have that, then you'll always be a bystander, a spectator watching others claim what you are too weak to take. The truth about failure: failure isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. Not trying is. So many people spend their lives hiding from failure, terrified of the possibility that they might not succeed. But here's the truth: failure is part of the journey. It's not the end, it's the lesson, the grind, the fuel that pushes you forward. But what do? You stop after one failure. You make an excuse. You cry it's not fair. And you back off. You give up before you even get started. And guess what? That's why you'll never be anything. That's why you'll never rise. Because the real winners are the ones who fail harder, faster, and learn. They're the ones who take the punch, get back up, and go even harder the next time. They don't see failure as a reason to quit. They see it as the perfect reason to push forward. So stop whining. Stop running from failure. Embrace it: the truth about you. You want to know who you really are. You want to know what you're truly capable of. Here's the ugly truth: you are the product of every excuse you've ever made. You are the result of every time you backed down. Every time you said, "I'll do it tomorrow." Every time you allowed yourself to be weak. soft and compliant. But you don't have to be that person anymore. You can burn all that away. You want power. You want control. You want greatness. Then start living like it. The raw truth is this: you either rise or you fall. There's no in between. You either break the chains or you stay a prisoner. The only question left is, what are you going to do? Let me break it down for you. You have two choices. You can either rise or you can stay on the ground, wallowing in your weakness, waiting for the world to pass you by. And if you choose to stay down, then let me be crystal clear. Your life will be a living nightmare. You think you're safe? You think you're comfortable where you are? You think you can hide in the shadows, pretend your problems will magically disappear, and continue to deceive yourself with the hope that someday someone or something will change your fate. Wrong. The consequences of your weakness will suffocate you. Your hesitation, your cowardice, they will hunt you down. The slow death of complacency. Complacency is poison. It creeps in like a slow, silent killer. At first you don't feel it. You don't even notice it. It whispers to you in your sleep, telling you that you've done enough, that you can rest now. It tells you that you deserve a break, that you've earned your right to relax, to settle. But here's the truth. Complacency will destroy everything you've ever worked for. Complacency makes you believe that you can just coast by, that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow will never come. What happens when you choose comfort? When you choose to rest instead of push? The world doesn't stop. It keeps moving, and it leaves you behind. You don't notice it first. Maybe you take a day off. Maybe you skip a workout or postpone a project. But that's the first crack in the foundation. The next day you take another break, then another, until one day you wake up and realize you've been stagnant. You've been fading. You've given up. You've become irrelevant. And guess what happens next? The world moves on without you. You don't get a second chance. You don't get a do-over. The world doesn't wait for you to catch up. You either keep up or you get left behind. There is no middle ground. There is no safety net. The cost of inaction, let me tell you this. Every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. You think you have time. You think you have all the time in the world to figure it out, to get it together, to finally get serious about your goals. You don't. Time is a merciless beast that doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your regrets. Time will grind you down, and when it's gone, there is no going back. Think about the people who have gone before you, the legends, the ones who changed the world. None of them waited. They didn't sit back and wait for perfect timing, or for life to be easy. They didn't put things off until tomorrow. They didn't make excuses. They went after what they wanted right now. And when you look back at your life, when you finally wake up from your numbness, will you regret your inaction? Will you curse the time you wasted, the moments you let slip away? Will you look at the scars of missed opportunities and wish you had fought harder, pushed more, refused to accept the soft lie of one day? Let me tell you what the cost of inaction looks like. It looks like mediocrity. It looks like failure. It looks like a life of regrets where you wonder what could have been if you had just moved, just taken that step, just committed to the fight. The worst thing you could ever face is looking back on your life and realizing you never fought for anything. The deadly consequences of fear. Fear is the root of all your failures. Fear is the reason you hesitate. Fear is the reason you wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right moment. Fear is the reason you think you can't do it. Fear is the reason you tell yourself you're not ready. Fear is the reason you allow your mind to tell you no when your body, your soul, your spirit is screaming. Yes, and you know what? Fear is a liar. Fear tells you that the risk is too high. It tells you that you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not good enough. But fear is not real. Fear is just your mind trying to protect you from discomfort. It's trying to keep you in your safe little box, where you won't ever grow, where you won't ever achieve, where you won't ever find out what you're really made of. The real danger, the real consequence. It's not what happens if you fail. It's what happens if you listen to fear. If you let fear dictate your life, it will suffocate your potential. It will lock you in a prison of your own making, where you'll live out your days in mediocrity, watching others pass you by, wondering what could have been. So the question is, will you let fear own you? Will you let it control your every move, every thought, every decision, or will you rise above it? The consequence of avoiding pain: you don't want pain. You want to avoid it, ignore it, escape it. You think pain is the enemy, but you couldn't be further from the truth. Pain is your ally. Pain is your teacher. Pain is the fire that forges you. The only reason you're weak, the only reason you haven't achieved what you want, is because you're running from pain. Every time you avoid the discomfort, every time you let yourself off easy, you lose. You lose ground, you lose time, you lose yourself. Pain is not to be feared. Pain is what makes you stronger. Pain is what makes you better. It's time you understand this. You will never grow without pain. Every time you want to quit, every time you want to stop, that's when you need to push harder. Because every step through pain, every moment of struggle, is bringing you closer to the person you were meant to be. But if you run, if you quit, if you choose to give in, you will stay exactly where you are. And where you are is not enough. The ultimate price of weakness now. I'll give you one final warning. If you continue down this path of weakness, of excuses, of comfort, of inaction, you will never become who you were meant to be. You will never reach the heights you dream of. You will never make the impact you want to make. You will never feel the power of accomplishment, the glory of success, or the satisfaction of knowing that you took what was yours. You'll die with your dreams still inside you. You'll die with regrets so heavy they'll suffocate your soul. You'll die a coward who never took a risk, who never fought for what they truly wanted. And when your time comes and the world asks, "What did you do with your life?" your answer will be nothing. You will fade into oblivion. Is that what you want? No? Then stop wasting time. Stop making excuses. Stop running from pain. Stop hiding from your fears. Start moving. Start fighting. Because if you keep walking the path of least resistance, you'll be left in the dust, forgotten, irrelevant, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. The rise is coming. Will you rise with it? You want the truth. Here it is. Your transformation is no one's responsibility but your own. You've heard the lies. You've heard the excuses. You've heard the whispers of comfort. But here's the harsh reality. All that noise is nothing more than the background hum of your self-imposed prison. You are the one who holds the key to your freedom. You are the one who chooses whether you rise or fall. You are the one who decides whether you will allow your past to define you or if you will destroy that weak, pathetic version of yourself. This is your moment. This is your defining moment. Will you seize it, or will you let it slip through your fingers like everything else you've wasted up until now? Let me tell you this right now. You can rise, but only if you're ready to burn everything that has held you back. It's time to leave the old you behind. The version of yourself that was soft, that made excuses, that believed the lies, that feared pain, that ran from discomfort. You must bury that version. The new you, the real you, is born from struggle, from sacrifice, from the relentless pursuit of greatness. You are forged in fire. Your rebirth will come from the ashes of your weakness. It will come from the fire of your deepest suffering. That's where your true self resides, in the pain you've been avoiding, in the suffering you've been running from. But you can't rise unless you make the decision. You can't rise unless you choose to fight for yourself. IT starts with a decision. The moment you decide to rise, the battle is already half won. The decision is the hardest part. because it's the moment when you declare war on your comfort zone. It's when you say, enough. Enough of the mediocrity. Enough of the excuses. Enough of the endless cycle of pretending things will get better without you putting in the work. The decision to rise is a moment of reckoning. It's a declaration that you will not let another day pass in the same weak state you've been in. And that decision, that choice, it will echo through the rest of your life. Because once you decide, there's no turning back. You will look back and see the person you were, and you'll know deep down that version of yourself no longer exists. You have to choose. The rise is waiting for you, but it demands everything. It demands all of your energy, all of your focus, all of your drive. It demands that you stop feeling sorry for yourself. It demands that you stop listening to the lies in your head. It demands that you face the truth that has been staring you in the face all along, that you have been your own biggest enemy. The fire ignites within now. That you've made the choice, the fire within you will ignite. This is where everything changes. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect time. No more telling yourself you're not ready. You will dive headfirst into the grind. You will face the pain head on. You will embrace the suffering, because you know it's the price of greatness. The fire will burn through you, a fire that refuses to die. It will consume your doubts, your fears, and your hesitation. It will strip you down to your core, revealing your raw, untamed power. This fire will make you unstoppable, because you won't be afraid anymore. The weak, lazy version of you is gone. You are a new creation, hardened by fire, driven by purpose, and completely unafraid to conquer. You are unstoppable. No one, nothing will stand in your way. You will destroy every obstacle in your path, not because you're special, but because you've chosen to be relentless. You've chosen to outwork, outlast, and outfight everyone who ever doubted you. You will show the world what happens when someone finally awakens to their own potential. You will break through. You've been held back by invisible chains. You've been trapped by your own fear, but no more. You are breaking through the walls of your self-imposed prison. You are climbing higher than ever before, each step fueled by the fire that now burns within you. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable now crumble beneath your feet. The doubts that once haunted you are nothing more than whispers, easily drowned out by the roar of your determination. You are no longer bound by the limitations of the past. Now the world is your battlefield. You have the power to claim everything that belongs to you. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is beyond your reach. It will be hard. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be moments when you will feel like you've given everything you have. And still, you're not where you want to be. But the difference between you and the rest of the world is that you refuse to give up. You will keep pushing. You will keep grinding. You will keep rising no matter how much it hurts. You will outlast everyone around you. And in the end, you will be the one standing tall while the rest of the world fades into mediocrity. Take what is yours. You're not here to play small. You're not here to follow the herd. You're not here to live a life of mediocrity. You are here to take what is yours. Every dream you've ever had, every goal you've ever set, every vision you've ever imagined, it's waiting for you to claim it. But only if you're willing to fight for it. Only if you're willing to embrace the grind, the struggle, the sacrifice that will lead you to the top. You don't get to sit around and wait for things to fall into your lap. You take action. You go after it. You tear down the walls, break through the chains, and take what's yours no matter what it takes. You will stop at nothing. And when you finally stand at the top, looking down at everyone who doubted you, you will know this is the price of victory. This is what it takes to be the best. But don't mistake this for a final destination. This is just the beginning. The rise is an ongoing process. Every day is a new battle. Every moment is an opportunity to keep pushing, to keep striving for more. The fire never dies. The grind never stops. You will keep rising higher and higher until you have claimed everything. Your call to action, move now. No excuses, you've heard everything. You've seen the truth. Now do something about it. Get up. Stop waiting. Stop putting it off. The time to rise is now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when things are easier. Move, fight, act. Conquer. It's your time, here it is. The final moment. Everything you've been through, every battle you've fought, every ounce of strength you've poured into this, has led to this very moment. The choice is yours. No more questions, no more hesitation, no more back and forth. You have one option, move forward. The time for talking, for pondering, for doubting is over. You will act. Let me make something crystal clear. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your sob stories, your regrets, or your I'll do it tomorrow mentality. The world doesn't wait. It doesn't soften the blows. It doesn't give you second chances. It moves. It adapts. And if you're not ready to fight, to keep up, you will be left behind. You will be consumed by the very thing you fear. You will die 1,000 deaths while the world moves forward without you. But if you choose to rise, if you choose to take what is yours, the power that comes with that choice will be unstoppable. And if you're wondering whether you have what it takes to make it, to be that person who steps into their own greatness, I'll tell you right now, you do. You were born for this. You just have to decide. Right now, in this very second, you're either going to rise to the occasion, or you're going to continue wallowing in the shallow waters of mediocrity. And trust me, there is nothing worse than living a life that wasn't truly yours. No more hesitation. It's time to act. You are at war. You've been fighting for control, for clarity, for power over your own life. This is your moment to take it all. This is your time to break free from the chains of your own making and take what the world owes you. I don't care how many times you've been knocked down. I don't care how many mistakes you've made or how many failures you've experienced. What matters is what you do now. The only thing that defines you is what happens when you stand up and say, I will not be stopped. The past is gone. All that matters is right now. So get up, take the first step, and then take the next, and then take another. The power of your transformation lies in the momentum. It lies in your ability to keep moving. Keep pushing, keep fighting. Because if you want to be the person you've always dreamed of, the one who stands tall, who demands respect, who commands attention, you can't afford to waste another second. Right now, make the decision. Will you rise or will you fall? Will you finally step into your power? Or will you allow fear, doubt, and hesitation to keep you shackled? There is no room for softness, no room for excuses. No room for second chances. This is it. Move now. Take everything that's yours. Rise and claim your place at the top. You've been given the tools. Now use them. The rise has begun. Will you rise with it?